Okay, this is Ringwalk Media in association with Red Line Specialist Cars, Harlem Whiskey Clan and the Glove Box Management. Mr. KALLE SAUERLAND, it's time. There's a big show coming up. Harlem's got his chance, and it's got to be exciting times for you guys.
Yeah, look, I think it's whenever you get to this stage of a career, which is sort of the breakthrough stage, I call it.
Yeah.
It's that moment when you step up and put it all on the line, really. When I say all on the line, I mean, obviously, we don't talk about a loss, but it's the time to test, and it's the time to risk, and it's the time to find out what is there. We've seen, Harlem stepping it up level after level. So it's that moment, and it feels right. It feels like a big fight. It feels like a fight that can lead to world titles. So it all feels right. But we can do all the talking we like. But Saturday night, live on the Zone from the wonderful Manchester Arena, we will see what Harlem Eubank is capable of in deeper waters. That's the clear thing. The question, I guess, is more on Catterall. What does he bring? New weight class, of course.
Yeah.
Does that play for us, against us? I'll be talking absolute rubbish if I said I knew that now. But at the same time, it is we as a team know what Catterall brings. The fans know what Catterall brings. He's a top operator, but we know what he brings. We don't yet know what Harlem Eubank brings. It's as simple as that. We can't know, His toughest tests, McKenna, Schwarzkopf, interesting enough, also been in with Catterall.
Yeah.
Can look into that, but you don't know because he hasn't been in with a level of Catterall yet. Much respect to Catterall. Much respect. They've got some great names on the CV. Very tight fight with Barboza last time out. And he'll have learned. But we know what Catterall brings. He's been in the deep waters. That's where you find out what a boxer can do. Harlem hasn't been there yet. So for them, it's going to be a bit of a puzzle to study.
It's an intriguing one, isn't it?
Well, it is because, what they're going off. They're going off 21 fights without a loss. Good record.
Yeah. And you've nurtured that as a promoter very quietly, very relaxed, very easily. You've let him do his thing. You've let him learn. And he's now sort of just at that stage where he's kind of got it. So it's a good stage, isn't it?
It is, but again, you only know as a promoter, as a trainer, as a boxer himself, you only know when you're in at that level. Yeah. Of course, the trainer and the boxer have tested different scenarios in the gym, but there's nothing like the lights and the cameras and the action in boxing, And
it does play a part, doesn't it? The whole occasion as well.
For me, it's sort of the fruits of your labour as well. Yeah. For Harlem, mostly for Charlie the trainer, absolutely. But for us as the promoter as well, it's the fruits of your labour. Okay, what have we got now? We believe in Harlem. We believe it's there. And 27 odd years, 47 world champions later, I sort of.
All right.
I have a little bit of a.
your stuff.
No, but listen, the other side know their stuff as well. Yeah. But we don't always get it right. So I think we're getting it right this week.
I think one thing that people have sort of mentioned is obviously the step up in weight, etc., for both, guys. Jack boxed as an amateur at this weight, so he does have some kind of understanding about what he's going to do. But obviously he's progressed, of course.
I get that we're looking for storylines. I get we're looking for different angles here. He's also, a few months older than from his last fight, and unfortunately we all know what happens with age and weight.
Tell me about it, mate.
You exactly tell me about it. But look, so it's not. This isn't a big. I get that people are making a thing about the weight, but let's not get too carried away with a weight change. Harlem's physical advantage will be speed. That is without a doubt for me. But I'm not going to look at the weight too much. It's signed off at the weight. It is what it is, and that's it. I'm not going to start. I make much more of the fact that we know pretty much all we can know about Jack Catterall. He's a top class operator. We all know that, and we know that Harlem has massively improved. But at the same time, it's that moment, as I said, and that's really the exciting part. That's why you want to tune in.
I think the one thing I noticed in the last fight against McKenna is that was a tough fight, and McKenna's a proper warrior. He proper goes for it.
Really find untough Northern Irish
you
opponents.
don't. But Harlem was his intelligence in the ring was the best I've ever seen it. He could have come unstuck in that fight if he had taken his eye off the ball, and he didn't. He was really focused. He was really he knew what he was doing, even when he went into that those later rounds that were getting tough. He didn't look like he was worried. It's nice to see that he's now progressed, not just in a physical way, but in a mental way as well.
And that's what he's got to do. He's got to continue that. It's well spotted. I saw, I think it was Buncey, who also came out and said, look, Harlem's just got to fight the intelligent fight.
Yeah.
It's not going to be a fight where he goes in and, in boxing you never know, but there's that early punch or whatever. I think it's about a 12-round fight. It's about putting that strategy in, the thinking fight, and breaking his mat down like that and winning the fight like that. So, point again. We will find out so much more about Harlem Eubank Saturday night, And look, he's had a great journey on Channel 5. He's had fantastic viewing numbers. So he's obviously got that family name. But at the same time, all of that, when that first bell goes out the window.
Now, is Chris coming?
I never make a prediction on seniors. I'm trying to predict the weather at the moment. No. It's definitely going to be sunny tomorrow. I don't know if senior's coming though.
Nice swerve. Listen, great show over in Newcastle a little while ago, a couple of weeks ago or so. Some good talent on there, some guys that are starting to find their feet. We're going to see
Watch
some...
Noel Brown Saturday night as well. Manchester's very finest, 16-0.
Yes, he is.
Hopefully 17-0 post Saturday. He is. He's one of quite a few coming through now, and it's going to be an exciting second half of the year for us. Tom Welland.
That's one of the names, yeah.
Dan Toward putting things right again.
Yeah.
Those early blips in careers, they happen. They've happened with the very finest. So he's 10-time national amateur champion. There's a load coming through. And Matty Harris, he's one of the, I pull my last hairs out over him sometimes, because he's got the skills. It's just, skills don't pay the bills in boxing. It's that. But Pete Fury is exactly the right choice, because Pete Fury gets rid of him, then I know he's not taking things serious, and we don't need to bother with him either. At the moment, he's coasting through the opponents. We all know that those opponents aren't the level he's supposed to be at.
Yeah.
But he's setting things up for a very interesting 2026.
You mentioned Niall Brown. Of course, he's over there with Pat Barrett, and Pat's obviously got a good, credible sort of stable full of fighters. He's got Lyndon over there, of course, and lots of youngsters.
Big up Black Flash Promotions.
Yeah, they got a show the same night actually.
Yeah, he's already pitched me one. He's already pitched me a fight within 30 seconds of walking in here. Pat is always at it. I love him.
But you know what? Pat's putting some great shows on. Some great talent coming from Manchester, and some great lads on that show, as well as obviously Niall and the guys that you've got over here. He doesn't give up, does he, Pat?
Well, look, I'm a Londoner, but I've got to say, Manchester for me is probably one of my favourite places on planet Earth, not in the UK, on planet Earth to promote. I've had so many great nights up here.
We've had some good nights with Wasserman.
Yeah, but I'm going back a couple of decades. I'm going back I think the first one I done here wasn't a great. No, hold on. I've got to watch what I say now. I think it was David Hay, Audie Harrison.
Yeah, I have to be quiet on that one.
Yeah, I've got to go back. I'm sure I've done one before that here. But I don't know. George Groves, Chris Eubank, obviously was a great one up here. The couple of Eubank Smith fights in more recent memories. And then also the Misfit stuff we've done up here, the Prime Card, probably one of the biggest combat sports events of all time. So I've had so many great nights in Manchester.
You're coming back here soon with Misfits, I believe.
Yeah, look, we are. Hopefully August 30th. Yeah,
that'll be good, mate. We love it up here. Misfits is very well reserved. Yeah. So listen. It's going to be one hell of a night, and we're back in the Manchester Arena. The atmosphere is going to be great. Harlem's going to be bringing a lot of people. Do you think the occasion is going to just fit the fight. I think it's Manchester loves its boxing, doesn't it? It's going to be 18,000 people in here.
Well, it has. Look at it from both of them. This isn't a fight where either of them are going to retire afterwards. Yeah?
No, of course not.
Both ways. Yeah, this isn't. This is a really interesting fight. But look at the motivations for both of them.
Yeah.
Catterall having come so close.
It was close.
So close.
Who, by the way, should never have been fighting Barbosa because Sean McComb got absolutely robbed.
So there's lots of. He's had a great, but also in a way he's had some unfortunate things that happen in boxing come against him as well in terms of timing. Some people would say results as well, but. His motivation is not this is sort of a some fight to retire to. No, this is about him wanting it. And then Harlem, our side. Well, we know what this means, and this has been a long time coming, but it's come at the right time. We feel at the right time, and. If I just look at those two motivations, you're going to get one hell of a fight because there's no one is going out easy here. That's
going to be a good one. Well, we've interviewed a few times, right? And I know when you've got that smile on your face that there's something we don't know, right? I've got a funny feeling this is going to be
great shape. He is in great shape. That's all I'll say.
Listen, Kalle, thank you so much for your time. We hope that your man enjoys the night and does what he needs to do, and we'll be here to see it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, mate.